Good morning, everyone. My name is Rika Mack, and today we are here interviewing with a awesome gentleman who is certainly working in the field that he has been called and appointed to work in, Mr. Chris McClerklin. He is the owner of Peaceable Solution, and what he does is an amazing job with his clientele by making a difference in their life and making an impactful, lasting impression in how he interacts with them. Now, I can tell you a lot about Chris, but I'm sure that he certainly will do a better job of telling you about himself. But I can tell you that he is amazing and outstanding at what he does. So, what I'm going to do now is to turn the floor over to him as he tells us about his brand, Peaceable Solution, and all that he does for his clientele as well as the community. Chris, welcome, and I'm going to turn it over to you to tell us more.
All right, Rika, thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for even taking time to be interested in Peaceable Solutions. I always find it a privilege and honor to um, elaborate and to discuss with others what I've just been inspired to do, I've been gifted to do, and I will share this with you. I'll give you some little insider secret. I'm really just accepting that this is my purpose. So
Wow.
yeah, I've known it for a long time. I've fought it for a long time, but I'm really accepting that this is my purpose. So, um, to those who are watching, thank you so much for being a part of this interview process as well. So, you asked me to talk about Peaceable Solutions, what inspired it. I always share with my clients when I meet with them that Peaceable Solutions is my life story, good, bad, and indifferent. It's my life story. And even as I work with clients across the nation, some of their issues and some of the areas of concern, I still yet can resonate with them. One of my inspirations has been Dr. Miles Monroe, the late Dr. Miles Monroe. And he said, make yourself an asset, make yourself a person of value. And on my sticky uh, notepad that I can put on the wall, I wrote it large: make yourself a person of value. So that's what I do. That's my intent. And that's what I'm going to continue to do until I get up on out of here.
That is a wonderful answer. And I mean, you gave so many insight. One of the things I really would like for you to just backpedal and touch on, and I'm going to ask you to
Hmm.
touch on this just for the individual who may be watching and they are at the
Hmm.
same place where you were at. What what created that inner fight when you said, I really just accepted this? Because I'm sure that inner fight created a delay where even if you are operating in what you're supposed to be doing, there may be a level of apprehension that's holding you back. What created the
Hmm.
delay or the inner fight within yourself?
There were factors that contributed to it. And one of those factors was um, I lacked self confidence, I lacked self esteem. And so I saw myself operating in the function and the capacity that I'm operating in now. However, I realized that I was doing it half-heartedly. And
Mm,
even as I'm continuing to navigate peaceable solutions, and I use that word purposefully, navigate peaceable solutions, because I look at peaceable solutions as higher than me. So I'm discovering it each day. So the tenacity, the fight within me was, I know there's a call on my life, and what I was settling for was not satisfying.
mm,
Which was what was I settling for? I was settling for hiding behind the scenes. I was settling for being the second man when I knew I should be in the lead. I
mm.
was settling for waiting for others to validate me and to give me the go ahead. So yes, I definitely, and which allowed me to create and contribute to me creating the program Successfully You.
Wow. Now, I'm
Yeah.
going to have you elaborate, and thank you for sharing that. I'm going to have you elaborate more on Successful You. But for right
Mhm.
now, what advice would you give someone who's doing exactly what you did previously, putting yourself as a second man instead of the first man to grow your business and be the person God has called you to be?
I would say um, call Peaceable Solutions.
Book an appointment. Let's start there.
Schedule that appointment.
We're now accepting new clients.
Right, right. The number is 803-386-9842.
There you go. There you go.
But
Love the
what I would
plug.
say is, what I would say honestly is there's a point where you have to, and I believe that those who connect with me, um, that have connected with me and will connect with me in the future, they are exhausted with the inner turmoil of of being disconnected from purpose. A lot of times we think we're bored, we think that we are um, dissatisfied with life. That is part of it. The truth of the matter is that we haven't found and celebrated ourselves as a person. So I encourage you to discover yourself and then celebrate yourself. And that even in itself is a process, because it sounds easier, like if it's said than done. It is easier said than done. And what I do is show you the process. But first of all, you have to know what your purpose is. You have to know that there's more to you than what others define you to be.
That's
And then
good.
that hunger and thirst for elevation, or I will say this here, righteousness or right standing, is going to be satisfied.
That's really good. And would you say that can be the catalyst that would launch someone to becoming a more successful version of themselves, being able to move past hurts and childhood trauma to become
Mm,
what you have been teaching with the Successfully You series? Because
hmm.
sometimes in life, it's not the enemy, but it's the inner me.
Yes, yes, I definitely agree with you on that. Um, I did a lot of soul searching, and I knew that there was more to me than my life experience, my negative life experiences. I knew there was more to me, more than my negative life experiences, more than the mistakes that I mistook as opportunities. So I called it mistakes on purpose, because that which I took is not what I should have taken. But
Mm.
because of the
Oh,
lack of
that's good.
knowledge, I took that
Yes.
and I embraced it, because again, I'm grabbing for straws. And this, I'm just telling you my story now. I was grabbing for straws because I knew there was a higher me
Mm-hmm.
that was trapped in my experience.
Mm-hmm.
So yes,
So,
I go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you, but this is so
Oh, you're
good.
fine. You're fine.
So, is it safe to say that you took on someone else's interpretation of who you were meant to be, or you took on someone else's identity of who you were meant to be? And as a result of that, it sometimes caused delays in your life.
I took on the perception and the
Mm,
definition of others.
yes.
I put that cloak on myself because it was easy.
Hmm.
Remember, we are, and the challenge is that we're taught to look without versus trained to look within. So if I'm looking outward, I'm always depending on a resource versus connecting to the source, which is my higher self,
Yes. And
the original blueprint for my life.
mhm, that's good because there is an original blueprint. And I
Hmm.
think when you have been raised in a certain environment, it's hard to know that or even how to revert
Hmm.
back to it in terms of getting yourself back on track. Even
Yes,
when a
yes.
lot of us go through a healing journey, the scariest part of that healing journey is what's at the end of it. Am I
Hmm.
gonna like the end result of who I may become?
Hmm.
Now, would you say that this is what led to your brand that you have created, the Peaceable Solution brand? The color scheme that you've chosen for your brand, your tagline. You have a lot of wonderful quotes. We just saw a video last week with the quotes in quotation. We know you have a t-shirt coming out. Pre-orders will be
Yeah.
available soon with your quotes.
Hmm.
So is it safe to say that this played a vital role in creating your Peaceable Solution brand?
Yes, yes, Rika, I would say played a vital role. And I say that because in the midst of the chaos, I still saw above the storm.
That's good. That's good.
In the midst of all the chaos that was inside of me that I experienced, that had come by way of generational, that had come by my choice, it was chaos. But I still yet saw above. And that's when I knew that there was more to Chris than just a name. And what I started doing was separating myself from my life experience. I even separated myself from you'll hear, I did a video one time about our earth name. It's just an earth name. It's just an earth name, which has limitation. So if you look at my social media, sometimes you'll see I'll give a word of encouragement, then I'll put the nuance, the subtle change. That's what nuance means, the subtle change. Or you'll see me write the light bearer. I started accepting what is defined as being peculiar.
Okay.
Now I'll go this route. When you look at the word peculiar, the definition means queer. When you think of the word queer, you think of negativity, a negative connotation. So did I really want to be peculiar? Peculiar sounds more user-friendly than queer because queer is not acceptable. Peculiar is acceptable, but neither one of them fit what I wanted to be or how I wanted to be viewed. So I rejected all of them. And I played the dance of others.
Wow.
But I wasn't at peace within myself. I wasn't at peace within myself. And I believe that others who are watching this interview who are tired of being comfortable with their discomfort. Yeah. They want to write a new narrative.
Yes.
Go ahead. What's your next question?
And I love that. They want to write a new narrative, but it's also coming into the knowledge of the understanding as to who's holding the pen. Because
Correct.
sometimes when you've had a traumatic childhood, you don't exactly realize who's been telling your story, and that your
Correct.
story, you've been fed a false narrative, and you're now the pen holder, and you can change that. So that is so good. Earlier, you mentioned the video that you made. If viewers wanted to see that video, like someone is watching this broadcast now, and they're like, oh, I want to see that video. Where can they locate that video? Is it on your YouTube channel, your Facebook?
Yes, YouTube channel is Peaceable Solutions. You can find that on the YouTube channel, Peaceable Solutions. And it is also on my Peaceable Solutions page on social media, on Facebook. Instagram is going to also be Peaceable Solutions. So you'll see that video. In that video, I said, say it loud, no, not today. You know, and then I did this, and I made the face of the commentator. He was, and it's a GIF that goes around, and he's like this here, like that. And I thought it was so appropriate to send that out there because there are conversations in our head that get played over and over again. There are aspirations in our soul that remind us of who we are and why we were created. However, the aspiration is usually not our reality because we embrace reality as what we've experienced tangibly, what we've lived out. So I had to learn. No one taught me this other than spirit. And when I say spirit, spirit of the Most High, taught me to start speaking out of my mouth while the negative conversation was going in my head.
That's good.
So any negative thought that's going on in your head, you have to say aloud, no, I don't agree with that. Not today. The minute a new voice, mind you, the negative voice is your lower self or your life experience. The commanding voice is your higher self that remembers who you are and why you were created. So now we understand whose report are you going to believe.
That is a
And
good
you
question.
mentioned the colors. You asked me the question about the colors. I visualize, I see. And so one day I was sitting there and I saw the stream of water and it was blue. And it signifies, well, number one, blue is my favorite color. Any shade of blue is my favorite color. And in fact, I had to change my wardrobe because I had too much blue. So anyway, long story short. But I saw blue, so I knew I wanted blue to be a part of the brand's design. Because colors associate feelings, connected to feelings and emotions.
And that is so true, because oftentimes when we see organic things being advertised, the first color we see is green or we see white. If it pertaining to a fast food restaurant, we see red, we see yellow, because there is a psychology to color. So I completely agree with you. Here's what I want you to tell me now. What are all of these services that your business offer, and also how is your business classified in terms of who you are, what you offer, how you interact with your clients? I would like to know more about that, and I'm sure the viewers would as well.
I am a life recovery specialist. Life recovery specialist. Anything that proceeds with the prefix of re, you're doing again. And we take words lightly, and because we just say them. And in the English, unfortunately, one word has two definitions or several definitions. So if I say remember, do you remember? And we're starting to say, well, do I recall? Do I think? But actually, when I say, do you remember? If you throw that down, do you remember what happened yesterday? I now go in my mind, in my intellect, and I start reconnecting the events of yesterday. So for me, I realized that there were fragments of my soul all over the place because I was looking for validation from others.
Wow. Wow.
And so I had to recall myself to myself from other people that I had linked myself out. Now, whoever's watching this,
wow. Wow.
Well, how do you do it, Chris? Now I'm 50 Earth years now, so I started doing this back in my 30s because at 38 I was diagnosed with cancer, and with cancer, I know Mr. T said this years ago, but cancer, he said cancer saved my life. Cancer elevated my life and changed the trajectory of my existence. So I started recalling myself from people that I had lent myself to, and doing that, I started now becoming connected to myself and started believing in myself. And I started validating myself and speaking well to myself out of my own mouth. I started replacing the voice of others with my own self, with my own voice in a positive way. I hope I answered your question.
You did. And I just
go
ahead.
Thank you. You said the programs. So the programs that I offer is for relationships, is the one that I started with, and that is called Love by Choice. Love
That's
by
good.
Choice.
That's good.
And the second program that I created, it started off initially as the journey to self. And then I kept pondering it for a couple of years, and then it became Successfully You. Successfully You. Which means now you're taking steps, because the definition of success is when preparation meets opportunity. So theoretically, you're practicing, but with application now, you're able, when the opportunity comes, you're now able to apply what was learned and gained about you in a new situation. You discover boundaries. So Love by Choice teaches that it is a choice each day to wake up and choose to love. Why? Because that's what Most High desires from us. He desires that we choose Him. He wants nothing by force. And if we're going to exchange love between each other, it should be what? A free flowing choice. Successfully you. Again, I didn't have self-esteem. I lacked self-confidence. I was the life of the party, but the misery of my own company. I was miserable at my own company.
Mm.
So to become successfully you, I have to realize that I'm a whole person. I'm a whole vibe. We've heard that before. I matter. And
Mm-hmm.
if I don't respect me, no one else is inspired to respect me. Um, the other one is a parent certified parent instructor. I teach parents how to consider their children,
Mm-hmm.
not as possession, but as being responsible, these parents being stewards of our children's emotions and taking the old paradigms and figuring out those principles that work, but then also discarding those things that broke our soul as individuals. We cannot repeat that cycle with our children, with the children that the Lord has entrusted to us.
Yes, I love that.
How, how do I classify myself? Oh, I also, I help with anger management. It's okay to be angry. It's just when anger becomes elevated or escalated into wrath is when heinous crimes happen and people start moving into the lower realm. And then, there's division. Anger is just an emotion. It's an indicator. It shouldn't control us. We control it.
Yes.
Um, so these are the programs that I do offer, and I'm still elevating, partnering with others as well, because Peaceable Solutions is heavy. The
Mm-hmm.
concept, the idea is not of me. So it's above me and it is heavy. And it's sometimes the idea is overwhelming. However, it will be completed in the earth realm.
Yes.
Now,
Awesome.
how do I classify myself? People refer to me as a therapist, they refer to me as a counselor. I'm neither of them. I'm Chris McClerklin.
Yes.
Um, but I go by being I'll go with the classification of consulting, because you're consulting with me and we're conferring with each other. Um, it would also go into the category, like, instead of being a life recovery specialist.
And I love the terminology that you use, life recovery specialist, because I think it helps people to realize that maybe at a young age in life, something was taken from you, the way you should have been taught
Like
to
that.
value yourself.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
said, you're pretty much saying, hey, I am coming to help you restore and recover that which was taken from you. So
Correct.
I love the concept. Now, I believe you also offer premarital counseling. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, premarital, and this is where the program of Love by Choice comes in. So premarital counseling, postmarital counseling, um, helping people navigate um, the steps necessary to saying they want to make that lifelong commitment. Again, it's a choice, and statistically, the longer people are together in dating, the longer they stand a better chance, rather, of their marriage lasting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I help them through those gray areas. And some people have 13 years together and then they still come to me. And you see that they had good intentions, but no strong foundation.
And that's key. I'm glad you
Hmm.
said that, the strong foundation, the foundation that you lay, the relational foundation to build
Hmm.
your relationship on, it matters. And when we live in a
Yes.
society in 2023 where the divorce rate is over 50%, you are certainly needed in this demographic of postmarital counseling. Now, let's say
Wow.
today I'm one of your clients and I'm engaged and I come to you. What would that look like? And you don't have to go in depth, but just give me an idea to say, how would you begin that conversation between myself and my partner? to get us to open up and look at the big picture of marriage and think on a deeper level?
Well, usually ask the couples what is their goal. What is it that they want their marriage to look like, to feel like, and to represent about them. Um, I ask questions so that I'll know how to best serve them. Because I share with couples all the time, you will always know more about your relationship than I would. I said, whether you go to Dr. Phil, Iyanla, Oprah, or anybody else, you're going to always know more. We will only get snapshots. Okay. So I asked them, just some basic questions, what they desire the outcome to be. And then I start asking them about their values. And it's just a nice flowing conversation with the couple that builds over those, and it's recommended 6 weeks.
I love that. I love that. That is good. Now, you mentioned earlier about your newest venture, the brand Successfully You. When we live in a culture that base success on the type of job you work or the type of home you live in or the car you drive, how do you truly help a newlywed couple or couples who are engaged, couples who have been married for a long period of time? How do you help them to carve out and have a full understanding of what a successful marriage, a healthy marriage should look like? Because there are a lot of people out there, marriage has not been modeled before them, and they're pretty much trying to pull off something that they've never seen done before close up. So how do you help them to find that healthy marriage?
And I stated previously, I asked them again, what is it that they desire?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is what I choose not to do. And it's a challenge, but I choose to not do this, is impose my concept of what a peaceable marriage is to me upon my clients. I don't do that. I ask them what they desire. Then from there, I ask them, are they getting the result, or have they gotten the result based on what they desire? From there, I start introducing some peaceable solutions for them. Then they determine whether those solutions work or make sense. So
Okay.
while I'm in the process of work with the couple, I'll say, make sense? And then they'll say, yeah, it makes sense. And I'm like, okay, well, you guys apply. Let's see how that works.
So you bring them to that aha moment, and they're like, oh,
Correct.
it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, earlier you mentioned that you're at the young age of 50, which you don't look
Yes.
like it. So let's just put that out there.
Thank you.
That is well over 20 years of experience.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some products or merchandise that you have coming forward that we can partake in this experience that you have and sharing that and support you?
One book that I've written, and there's others that I'm working on, but the book that I've written and published is Relationship Builders, 10 Pillars for Success in Relationship and Marriage. That book is simplified, and I kept it simple because when you apply it to relationship, and if you value relationship, then you will apply those principles. If you're in a marriage, guess what? You still will apply those principles. So it makes for a good, strong foundation with some of those principles. Of course, I said 10. There's so many more. But that book is, you can find it on Amazon. But it's called Relationship Builder. You can type my name in on Amazon. You can find that book there. I've also, on my email list, if individuals subscribe to the website or they subscribe to my page, then they will get a download of just suggestions on how to have 20 conversations started with your partner. So that's downloadable on my website, which is peaceablesolutions.com. Now, if you go to YouTube, I did the series, 5 Ways to Be Successfully You. And by the way, I was stepping out of my box. I was just be very honest and transparent. I tell you, I'm still evolving. God, I'm still evolving. But I stepped out of my box. But I was inspired. I like to, I don't like to just lecture. I like to give handouts, you know. So if you go to the YouTube, under each video, you'll see the video as well as there's a downloadable printout that once you finish the 5 videos, you're now able to print out the 5 affirmations that are associated with that video.
Okay.
And also I'm working on t-shirts and working on books, getting the things that are so original. I tell you, it amazes me sometimes the things that come from me. Again, Peaceable Solutions is higher than me. So I humbly embrace Peaceable Solutions.
Tell me more about your t-shirt. Is it a certain design? Is it one of your quotes? What are we expecting with the t-shirt?
On that t-shirt, there's a saying that I've used within the past couple of months, and it is, be the best you, because everyone else is already taken. And that is the design on the t-shirt that we're working on.
That's good.
It's going to come in most relevant sizes of, medium, large. But yes, it's a thing. It's a statement. It's a reminder, and it's also it's infectious. When someone reads that, it captivates them. I mean, when I think of the name Peaceable Solutions, it just does something to me. I feel a flow. I'm like, man, there is a way to have peace and also come to a solution, even though we don't agree. So when I'm saying be the best you, each day is an opportunity to be the best you. And that's all that matters.
And that is a good statement. And it's much needed in today's society, especially among our youth. They need to know that they are enough just as they are. And it's okay for them to be themselves. Now, it appears that you have quite a few quote within yourself. Is it safe to say that we could see a quote book in the future, maybe, perhaps?
Yes. That is one of the visions that I have, is to take those quotes and make like a devotional or a planner out of it, where you can take that quote, you can meditate on that quote, and you can apply that quote to your life, and you can write about that quote and share that with others. Yes.
I love it. Here's what I want you to tell us in this next piece.
What's that?
How does Peaceable Solution give back to the community, society? How do you guys give back and empower the community?
That's some great questions, Rika. I really believe in giving back. Yes, I'm in business providing a service. There is an exchange of service for compensation. But also, I take that compensation and invest it back into the clients that have come through. And one of the outreaches or connections or giving back is the concept of when couples play. We bring couples together.
Oh, that's good.
From the 22 states that I've been able to reach and impact, people in all 22 states. And the goal is to bring all of them together, allow them to meet each other, and to discuss amongst themselves solutions. There are also skill sets that other couples have. They're professionals that I work with. And I say this with all humility, but however, I work with doctors. I work with basketball players who have traveled. So traveling basketball players who traveled with other countries. I've worked with some great people, everyday clients, great people, not just because of a title or position. And so my goal now is to position it where they're able to connect, meet other people just like them, other couples like them. They discuss, but you're still yet I'm pouring into them.
I love that. Now, I saw in August where you guys were
Mm-hmm.
at a back to school drive. Was that something done by Peaceable Solution, or were you just joining forces with someone else in the community?
Collaboration is key. Collaboration is key. And so I partnered with Kim's Kids Foundation, a nonprofit organization, and that's just one of the um, programs that she created that day that we partnered with. But I, two are better than one, and it's unfortunate that people sometimes don't connect or collaborate
Yeah.
because of the fear of competition.
Yes. Wow.
This is my affirmation. If it is mine, I cannot lose it. If it is
Mm,
not mine,
that's
I do
good.
not want it. You see, so I don't
When is
fear
that shirt coming
competitors.
out?
Well, that's not an original statement, but I will use Florence Scovel Shin, who made that statement in her book. But it's called again. It's if it is mine, I can't lose it.
I
If it
love
is
that.
not mine, I don't want it.
Yes. Oh, that's
You know,
good. That is good.
yeah. And so what can I? What will I lose by collaborating with and supporting another organization with their vision and with their goals?
I love
You know,
that. That is so good. And we can tell, even in this interview, just sitting here talking with you, that you absolutely have a heart of gold, and it shows. Now, I want
well,
to
thank you.
backpedal just a little bit.
Hmm.
I know you touched on the when couples play. Is that, and those events, are they exclusively only to your existing clients, or individuals who are not your client? Can they attend with their spouse or, significant other?
Yes,
And
we've
if
had
so, how can
clients.
they get in touch with you?
Awesome, great question. It has it is open to the community. So couples who are wanting to just connect or looking for an outlet or looking for an evening to date and find something interesting to do in their local area or travel from abroad to be a part of this. It is open to all couples. It originally started with me again working with the couple, and then also it's like almost like that drop off where you work with them and then they just drop off and they're left on their own. And again, oftentimes most people when they think they don't ask for help until they are at the point where their head is below the water. So their hands are flailing, but their mouth is not projecting.
Yes. Wow.
And they're
Let,
suffering in silence,
oh,
So
uh,
it's a reminder that you're not in this alone.
yes. I love that.
You're not
I
in there
love that.
alone. Right.
So it's creating that community of
Correct.
other couples. Now, here's what I want you to do, because I love the concept itself when couples play. I want you to tell us, what does that play look like? Is it just going to have a sit down at a nice restaurant, going to play miniature golf? What is it, a different event each month? Is it the same recurring event? Give us an idea of what that
Awesome.
looks like.
When couples play, um, and people, some people can be funny, but when couples play again, it's an opportunity. Chris, where'd you get the concept from? All work and no play
Oh, yes.
makes marriage boring.
Mm-hmm.
Love is not enough.
Oh, that's
It's not.
good. That's good.
It's not enough. You
I
know,
like that.
um, and that's why I don't believe in falling in love.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe in falling in love. You know, um, I believe in love.
Mm-hmm.
It may evoke different emotions at different times. Well, one thing about love is it's a constant.
Mm-hmm.
Even if and even if love detaches itself, it's still love
Yes.
from a distance with respect. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So when these couples come together and play, we and I don't want to give out too much, but anyway. But yeah, it's allowing them to play, allow them to have a good time, allow them to let their hair down. Some people need an outlet. You know, you've been married before. I've been married before, and it's something when you can connect with another couple. It
Yes.
revives the energy. It
Yes.
stokes the flame.
Yes.
It stokes the ember that might be about to go out, and that
Yes.
fresh wind and that new connect with another couple. It,
Yes.
it, it, it stokes that flame, and that flame starts roaring again. You follow
Yes.
me? So
Yes.
that's when couples play is about.
I love that. And it's like the older community would say, birds of a feather, they flock together. You stand
Yes,
a greater
yes.
chance of making it to your destination together. Now, I know you say
Hmm.
you didn't want to reveal too much, and I don't want to reveal too much either, but I believe during the month of August, the event was Sip and Paint for the couples
Yes,
play.
yes,
Just to give
yes.
individuals an idea that, hey, this is more than just dinner. This is more than
Yeah,
just let's
yeah.
meet at Chili's and have a nice dinner. You know,
Yes,
the couples are
yes.
truly playing if anyone is interested in being a part of that. Now, can they just give you a call to be a part of the next when couples play, or is there an event
Well, we're
link?
list we're listed on Eventbrite. So we, when we post our events there, you can find them on Eventbrite. So I would encourage you to look up Peaceable Solutions on Eventbrite. We will also post it on our YouTube channel. Again, that's Peaceable Solutions. Social media, Instagram, Peaceable Solutions, and then also um, on Facebook as Peaceable Solutions.
That is good. Thank you so much for sharing that information. Now, I believe I've taken up enough of your time. So I want to ask you this final question before we go, and we also want to give
Hmm.
some more contact information. You certainly sound as if you have now accepted your call, you're moving in it, and you are constructing a company for longevity. What
Hmm.
does Peace of a Solution look like 2 years from now, 3 years from now, in the future? Can you give us a quick snapshot of that?
You're
Take a
stretching me,
peek.
huh?
Take a
You're
peek.
stretching me.
Come on, lean in and take a peek. Go like that. There you
I
go.
see
There you
stars.
go. And I said to myself,
Right.
what a
What a
wonderful
wonderful world. I used to love that song. It used to touch me in a special way. But long story short, in the future, um, there's expansion. There's partnership with licensed therapists and counselors throughout the state and also throughout the nation with the intent of, if there's a diagnosis that's impacting your relationship, you follow me? A clinical diagnosis, I'm able to direct you elsewhere that might be a best fit. Because a lot of times uh, there are other issues, there are other underlying issues that may not be a best fit with Peaceful. And that's why we do an initial consultation. The initial consultation is to see if we are a good fit.
That's good.
It's just to see if we're a good fit, because I'm about connection, impact, and building rapport. And there are some clients who come through and who are not ready at the time, but what they get is my life experience. They get my personality. They get the investment of myself in myself, imparting into them.
That's good. That
Yes,
impartation is important. And I
it
think
is.
sometimes as modern society, we overlook the
Mm-hmm.
importation process, but it's very critical to us as a people. So I thank you so much for sharing that. I know you mentioned that Peaceable Solution is already in 22 states. Is it safe to
Mm-hmm.
say that within the next 3 to 5 years, we may be looking at 30, 40, but the brand is just growing and expanding as you go? Is it safe to make that assumption?
Yes, it is. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Um, Expansion is key, and we're moving forward. We really are. We're taking our time. Um, I'm from the old school. Anything that swells, there's an underlying issue. But
Mm,
anything that grows persistently and consistently and at a steady pace.
that's good. That's, I could tell you're filled with knowledge. I love it. So now if we have someone who watches this broadcast and they're like, wow, I like his concept. I love what he's all about. He's honest, he's transparent, he has a heart of gold. I would love to get in touch with him. I would love to connect with him, either if it's just from working with you, networking with you, or even coming on board as a potential client. What would be the best way for them to reach you?
The best way to reach me is by giving us a call at our number 803-386-9842. 803-386-9842. Be glad to receive your calls. If you don't answer at that time, of course, leave a voicemail, and myself or one of the office staff will get in contact with you and return that call within a 24 to 48-hour time frame. Usually return it within that same day. As long as it's within those business hours. Business hours are from 10 until 6. And also, you're able to go on the website, peaceablesolutions.com. And there's also messaging by way of the other social media platforms. Everything is Peaceable Solutions.
Thank you. Now, with you doing such a phenomenal job, I want you to close it out on this note. What are customers saying about Peaceable Solution? You can give me one or two quick review, word on the street. We want to know what they're saying.
I've worked with clients from the age of 20 up to 60 plus, and it has been transformative. And it's been transformative, and they've had great things to say. It has been, and when I say great things, it has been an inspiration. But I will share this with you. Most people will say that it's changed their lives. Others will say that there was one couple that I worked with, and they had been together for years, and they determined that they had 3 children together, they were living together, but they determined that it wasn't best for them to get married. And so in that decision, they decided to go separate ways, but still yet co-parent. From Peaceable Solutions, they were able to get principles and concepts that helped to transform their life. So I say this with all humility, that there is a 100% success rate with Peaceable Solutions. Whether you decide that this is the route that we should go to remain together, or this is the way that we should go to peaceably depart, but still yet be friendly and cordial. That's a win-win.
I love that. All right. Well, everyone, you have heard it here first from your very own Mr. Chris McClerklin, the owner of Peaceable Solution. So if you feel as if you're at a point in your life where you would like to speak to someone who has great wisdom, insight, a heart of gold, who can guide you and help you to recover. Amen. That's what he said, recover. He is a perfect person for you to give a call, reach out to. Maybe you're in a relationship and you two want to be a part of When's Couple Play. Perfect time to call. He is open and waiting for your call. They are now accepting new clients. And hey, if you watch this video and it helped you, share this video. Also leave a comment below, like, subscribe to the channel so that you can keep getting more notification from Peaceable Solution and all that he's doing. Do you have any closing remarks or final word for everyone?
I just want to tell everyone who's watching the video and this recording, thank you so much for watching this interview. Thank you so much, Rika, for having me on. Again, this is a huge step for me. I knew it was in the pipeline. I knew it was coming. The day of, I didn't know, but I would say I am successfully prepared for this because I've been preparing for this prior to the day, long before, years to come. It was in my mind, and I knew that I had to walk out my life purpose. So to everyone, have a powerful day by choice. Be the best you again, because everyone else is already.